We come to you with visions from Gork and Mork, with understanding of Ork hindsight being 2020. We present to you the future of the war. Hey guys, we're here with our predictions of what is to come in the Ork Codex when it does come. I know it's a bit early, but after seeing a few examples of what the codexes are bringing, the kind of rules that GW introduced during the balanced data slate, kind of safe to say we can start kind of getting ideas of what we want to do. The reason why it's not too early is because it's going to take you about this long to hobby anyways. So that's why this is going to still apply and why this video is going to be interesting. It's going to be a fun just discussion overall. Not talking about the meta, just talking about what is to come and will become the meta. We hope. All right. Well, with that being said, guys, we got a nice little presentation here for you and everything. It's not going to be just us ranting. And we'll be starting off with our ideas and thoughts of what types of WAAAGH we'll have. So in my opinion, we'll probably have about 6 detachments, hopefully, right? Orks, traditionally, we have our kind of, you could just say we have 7s. We would say we would have Goths, ideally, Bad Moons, Blood Axes, Free Buddhas, Death Skulls, and Evil Sunz, right? And what was the last one?
Snake Bites?
And Snake Bites would be the last one, right? You would have, hypothetically, you would think you would have those, but in reality, GW is probably going to either get rid of Free Buddhas because it's the same thing as a shooty one and combined it with Bad Moons as kind of one detachment. And then Squigs will kind of be introduced or intertwined already in other detachments, like we already have -1 to wound and stuff in our durable Squig Hog boys. So in reality, I'm thinking we're going to get just like our basic one we already have, right? Which is what Goths was. So we're not going to talk too much about that. And then our 5 new ones is what I think we're going to have. So it's going to be a conglomeration of what the clans are going to be, but we're going to fill it in with what the clans should be called, right? Because we already know. We looked at the Tyrannid ones. We can kind of see, okay, ooh, you guys are Monster Mash. Maybe you guys are Chronos or you know, if you guys are Infiltration, maybe you're Kraken, whatever. If you're Space Marines, right? If you're mounted your White Scars or whatever. In this case, we're going to start with Evil Sunz here too, right? So the Speed Wall is going to be what we would know as Evil Sunz, right? So let's just right off the bat start talking about some possible ideas, why we think that, stuff like that. And chat, of course, you guys say anything, talk back to us. This is supposed to be an interactive kind of conversation too, that when people in the future are talking, we can get more and more ideas. That's the point of the channel too, right? Our community's talking. Also, shout out, David got a shirt too. Oh, yeah. Boop, David got a shirt. Boop, boop. There you go. All right.
Yeah, so we're just trying to keep this light and fun. Yeah. You know, we're just speculating. We can only
because why not? Why not? We're gonna speculate and get some ideas. So right off the bat with the speed wall, I think we're gonna get an enhancement for plus move. That 1/3, probably 6 based off his data sheet, just like a Death Killer War Trike. You have a +2 to movement, +1/2 to charge. Make him just a dynamic missile. So in my opinion, I think we could see that easily being an enhancement. I don't think it'll be like a stratagem or an all-around data sheet ability because it'll just be too strong to be on every data sheet, accessible all over the board.
But having that one unit, that missile, like you said, definitely be in theme.
I think that could be a theme. What? How you feeling about it? Feel no pain also? What's going on here?
Feel no pain. Yeah, I mean, that extra durability, just at least on one unit, because you are going to send it in at some point, and yeah, you just don't want to be crumped right off the bat.
I think these are gonna, the keywords would also be applying here would be like bikers, maybe mounted unit, kind of like the White Scars, right?
Yeah, mounted.
Mounted keyword, vehicles possibly could get it, maybe like an Ork truck, buggies. I would see getting these as well. Vehicle, they call them the vehicle keyword. Right. So these, I'm thinking in mind, these are all abilities that are gonna be with the word keyword in mind of vehicles and or mounted guys. So that's why we're kind of putting the feel no pain on here too. Possibly that rolls over from our current detachment. Reroll 1s to wound, right? If we're going to have possibly an aura, as we had in the past, of reroll 1s to wound when shooting, I could see that easily being something you put on, like I said, a Death Killer War Trike, a War Boss on bike. You know, we don't have a ton of mounted units, characters, besides the Squig Hog boys, but biker ones, we don't have a ton of options. But if you do get one, it might be to enhance your shooting, right?
Right.
Get something related to somewhat durable. I mean, not durable, reliable with our Ork shooting. Considering our weapons are kind of decent strength, re-rolling 1s to wound would be fun, right?
That'll help you against those tougher targets. Yep.
Yeah, get those rockets. You get them, or oh, okay, you're wounding something on 3. Okay, I'm gonna re-roll 1s. Make sure these actually go through the wounds. Could be pretty nice. And what you think? Gain scout keyword.
Gain scout keyword. Yeah, get some early pressure. I think that's definitely viable.
Like a unit just started the game, started its wall a little ahead of everybody else. Just get up in the board with what though? Why would you having that keyword really be able to scout? Right?
mean,
If you're gonna put it on a character,
scout some bikes.
scout bikes. So you're saying a trike is on the scout?
You could, yeah.
So that one, I don't know, but I can see why you said it because that's the whole idea of why we're talking here, guys. These are just ideas of what could possibly come because we're getting these ideas off stuff we've already seen. You know, we've seen Death Guard get the abilities that are Death Guard related. You don't have to limit it directly to just offensive output or just defensive one. This is going to be all well-rounded conversation of what are all the abilities we're going to get. That being said, I could see us easily getting a auto 6 to advance.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be a speed wall otherwise.
Yeah, you can have a speed wall without an auto 6 to advance or greater. It could be a 14 or whatever. I mean, sorry, 14. It could be an 8. Sorry, thinking about overall movement. Just thinking about them. But make it 14. No,
move 28 inches and can still.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. But you're right. That being said, if you did scout and then auto advance, so I guess really you could, scout.
What they could do is what they did with the Space Marines, where they gave mounted the 9 inches to auto advance.
Yeah, that's what I would want. I mean, that's nasty, and you know, and I can see them giving very similar abilities. Because we'll have the same problem with not being strong necessarily, and we'd like the shooting. So it makes sense. That being said, with their shooting, I could see assault/burner weapons getting additional AP in this detachment. Once you close the distance, you start coming in, putting in that Dakka. I can see that actually being pretty fun, narrative friendly, thematic, everything like that. So burners getting additional AP. I'd love to see it. You know, they already ignore cover most likely with Torrent. So yeah, nothing I don't want to see. And is there anything in the chat we want to look at real quick before we continue with my boys here?
Do you want to finish this?
Okay, you want to keep going? Yeah. Go ahead.
Finish it, then we'll hit them up.
Okay, yeah, we'll hit them up. Let us know what you guys think too, guys. Right, we're not ranting at you here. We want you guys to respond. What makes sense? What doesn't? You know, fight back. Fight back, you get. No, I'm just kidding.
But like you said, you have relatively mid strength, so the +1 hit strength in combat when charging. I like that one.
Yeah, because you don't want it to. It's not that I think they're gonna get +1 hit and shooting. That could easily become just not orky. All of a sudden, you guys are firing and shooting, right? You can see this being as when we do get into combat with our bikers, with our Def Coptas, with our whatever we're using, they're getting +1 a hit and +1 strength. Start making them a different kind of reliable offensive potential. Still crumping, still getting stuck in, but since these are going to be movement units, faster units, smaller units, we do need them to become somewhat more reliable when they do get stuck in. So I can easily see this being just an army-wide ability, to be honest. When they charge, +1 to hit, +1 strength. Maybe not +1 to hit, because some characters already do that, but I could see them either getting one or the other. Because for the buggies, getting them +1 to hit would matter. Buggies right now hit on 4s. So get that buggy to have a somewhat reliable offensive melee profile on top of his shooting, it could be super fun. Talking about buggies, come on. Buggies got to get some version right before it used to be that they could like kick up dust. And then the buggies would get that. So I can easily see buggies, bikers, something getting the ability to be -1 a hit, maybe 1 CP, whatever it is, or greater turn distance from shooting, maybe to stop an alpha trek, like 18 inches, whatever. But either way, they need some kind of -1 to hit, right?
Yeah, I like this one a lot because we're talking about models with bigger bases here, and they're not going to go through your ruins, so they are going to be exposed. So just a little bit of durability just to be able to deliver them in combat.
Yeah, for sure. There's no reason why we shouldn't have something like that, right? And then move on to the next one. Move when your opponent's within 9 inches.
Yeah, some movement shenanigans.
Movement shenanigans, right? I don't know exactly what kind of movement shenanigans we'll be getting. We have all these other detachments we're going to be showing too. We're associated some of them that are more thematic than others, but I can easily see one being if you move within certain inches of this unit, it reactively moves, even if it's only D6 or just a straight up 6, not its full movement, whatever. Someone gets close to this speed wall unit, they reactively start getting closer to you. That could be very fun. Or when people are trying to charge you, right? Trying to get close to your speed wall, you start moving away from them with your speed wall, get further away from it. So
we can hit
I have 6-up, 6-up invul. I mean, I think you just need a 6-up invul. Why not? Why not? Even though, to be honest, a lot of these units are going to be having a decent armor save already. You see those mechanical biker speed units have a 4-up armor save. You get cover now easily. But when you do run into those meltas, those lances, those annoying units that do have a -4 AP, whatever it is. Okay, I have a 6-up invuln at least. I would like that to be an army-wide ability for my speed wall, to be honest. I don't think that's too much to ask. Some of the units already have it, so I don't think that's much to ask at all. A double move. I like to see if you can literally do a double move as a strat.
Yes.
Maybe not be able to charge, right? But the double move to position a unit. Biker movement moves 12, then moves 12 again, right? It's movement instead of an advance, I would assume.
Yeah.
I could easily see that being an ability.
Multiple benefits. Score secondaries, move block.
Move block. Oh, there you go. Move block. Just take over a whole nother side of the board and make someone have to commit with their slower moving units to try to get them as well. You're just taking over the board in a different way. That would be awesome. And then some kind of free rapid ingress. I think free rapid ingress for a speed wall makes total sense. Not sure exactly how that'd be incorporated, but that'd be cool if we got one too. So let's look at what the chat's saying response real quick before we move on to our next one. But guys, remember, these are just, you're going to see redundancy in some of the rules. Some of them are going to be new rules, but I think these are thematically what I can easily see these being a part of the detachment and the rules. Why not?
All right, you ready to clear your throat?
Oh, we already start one.
All right, we got Joel Atkins.
Sorry, guys. I've been listening to Ork books, and that's a different kind of wall in the book I heard.
He says, finally catching y'all live after a rough couple weeks. Sorry to hear that, Joel. Hope you're feeling better, and, you know, life is full of up and downs. Just keep your head up.
Keep it up, me boy. Oh.
A Wicked Joe.
Oh, here, another one. Oh, man, we're going to have so many WAAAGHs here.
Wappa wop.
Whoa. Come on, kids. So we're getting so many WAAAGHs up in here. I don't want to WAAAGH forever.
Ronan's review is excited for this
session.
session.
Exciting. Remember, interact. Let me know what you think, Ronan, too. What's going on? What are some abilities maybe we're going to overlook while we're going through this? Or throw some out there. You might see one you say end up being something we mentioned in another slide soon, right?
Yeah, I've already seen some good ideas in this chat.
Sweet. I like to hear it. I like me good ideas. Whoa, here from the south of the border. Thanks, guys. You're awesome. Well, you're awesome, Steve. Whoa.
Southern Ork.
Yeah, Southern Ork. I like that.
Capo. Finally, I've been waiting all day to hear your whoa, guys.
I'm gonna try back there from the mic, guys. So you know I don't get obnoxious. Hopefully, great to see you. Yes, it is great to see you.
Show some love, Joel.
The Ork.
We doing it live.
We're doing it live.
Whoa.
That's how we do it here. We always like to go wise for you. Live. We always like to go live for you guys. Make sure we interact with everybody. Let's hear what the community has to say, not just what I have to say. Forget it. That's not important. What we all say is.
One thing I've noticed, I like how the Ork commissar throws an R in his wall.
Yeah, you notice that, right?
I don't even know.
He's a pirate.
All right. Ooh, excited to see some theory crafting.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, we're gonna definitely come up with different kind of material, guys, and content as a whole. It's not always just gonna be the straight meta talk. Now that David's back in here, we can get our editing going, more ideas bouncing off. We want to hear what you guys got to say. This is supposed to be fun and entertaining and informative, not just a lecture of what the meta is. So you'll be seeing a lot of fun new content coming up.
And the Pale Ork in the chat.
The Pale Ork. Whoa! I took my Pale Ork to the GT, buddy. I'm my little Pale Ork biker. I took that as my knob. So yeah.
And he says a built-in -1 hit should come back for the speed freaks. +2 movement for speed freaks like it used to be. And mortal wounds on the charge strap.
Yeah, mortal wounds on the charge strap. I was wondering that too. We do have the tank shock, and some of those units will be calls already, besides like the bikers, I guess. But that's why I didn't mention it, but that is another one. +2 to movement. I don't know if they'll give that back to us, but I would love if they did, right? But we do need that built-in -1 hit. Definitely agree with that. And then he says right here as well.
This one's good.
Fire and fade mechanic. Definitely, I can see that with this or one of the shooting detachments, one or the other. Or the infiltration detachment. Who knows which one, right?
I wish they gave us back our shots. The lack of shooting makes everything less playable.
Yeah, the less volume is what he's talking about, guys, if you're wondering. Orks used to have just a silly amount of volume to make up for the fact that we hit on 5s, we'd hit on 6s, whatever it is. And now that we lack that, that really diminishes our shooting potential because we hit so poorly already. That becomes a problem. That's why flash kits are pretty much the only favor shooting unit, is because they have the volume plus the rerolls plus the sustain, so you get a reliable outcome in your offensive output.
And charge again on unit death would be thematic.
If a unit
How's
dies, it charges.
How does that work?
That's interesting. You elaborate on that. Auto explode.
Yes,
Okay.
auto explode strat,
Yes. Yeah. We need one of those, but that could be in the mech WAAAGH. But that's a good one to call out already, right?
Forgot about that one. What's your name, guys? So I can call you by name.
My name's Two Snatcher. No, I'm just kidding. I was kidding. I didn't know how to say that. I'm Eddie, and that's
I'm David. So
boom, and we're cousins.
pretty simple.
All right, let's go.
Easy to remember names. All right, Max. So they got to make an attachment specifically
Oh,
for
this
Def
is the
I knew
Def
this was
Copters one.
coming.
We got a Def Copter freak here. Then this is gonna this is the one. They're Def Copters, right? Hypothetically. So
this would be it. Where you want to run them? Arona's review, fixed flying, but that's more of an overall Codex.
That's like an overall like game edition thing here, right?
And we got a long one here.
Okay. One more while and then we'll move on. Whoa! Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Let's move on to the next slide. Let's go. Slide. Let's go. The mech. Whoa. Let's go, y'all. So for the enhancements, automatically somebody's going to be able to regen 3 wounds. That's what I'm hoping. Why not? We've had it. It should be another thing. Maybe you get something else on top of that. You can stack with that, but that would be great. Or just a straight up free strat for vehicle type units. I want to see Orks get some kind of free strat, and everyone's going to get it. It's going to be the Lucky Blue Gets. It's going to be the Lucky Blue Gets with the free strat, in my opinion, or that'd be fun. If not, you can give a unit of 4+ invuln. I could have a 4+ in there. I'm thinking you give a orc mech unit a 4+ invuln. You put that on maybe a kill tank or Gorkanaut or Morkanaut. Make one of those units actually have a respectable invuln on top of their durability, instead of just repeating -1 to wound or something, or such like that.
Right.
I would like to see either we get a reliable invuln, which would be a 4+ on a vehicle. A 5+ won't do it. And one of the Lucky Blue Gets getting a free strat. That'd be decent. Why not?
Yeah, I like the invul, especially being a mech wall. You got a bigger target. It's easier to just throw volume at it.
You need an invuln. On a Mecha Dread, you can't let people these las cannons. There's so many units that can just right now obliterate, like Gladiator Lancers, and bring it up again. Obliterate Orc units. You get a 4+ invuln on that. You can start tanking some of this low volume but very efficient anti-tank. That Orcs right now, we just eat it. We just eat it. We just hope. We just wish on a dream for a 6 sometimes. Like I'm safe.
That's while you're in coverage.
Yeah, and that's while you're in cover. So yeah, and then the detachment of abilities. Of course, Lucky Blue Gets got to reroll hits. So you get reroll hits, reroll a wound, maybe even an enhancement. You can make it a reroll a save. There's a bunch of different things we could see that could be definitely fun. Blanka save. That's another great one for a mech wall. That's not we didn't write on here. Additional AP at half range. Once you start closing the distance with some of these different kind of mechanical weapons, whatever it may be, maybe your Death Shooter on your Gorkanaut, maybe your Killer Cannon, another AP on your Kill Tank, rockets from your Killicans, flamers from your Dreadnoughts coming in, something like that. Getting additional AP from your mechanized units as they close the distance would be very cool. Kind of help with their lack of reliable damage output from shooting.
I don't think that's that strong because generally you're slower than other units, and you can shrug off some horde bodies that just want to tag you and slow you down.
Yeah, and you're even with your more damaging output from some of your damage 3, damage 2 shots. Usually they're only -2 AP. People are going to get cover. You'll make it -3 on your end, make it -2 on their end. Some armies can still armor of contempt. It won't be terrible. And really, the volume you get, it'll just hurt and chip down units, which will make it more fun and entertaining. And then a feel no pain against mortal wounds either could be across the army or as a strat. Kind of like we used to have in other editions or other armies did too. Why not? Of course, regenning wounds as a strat. That way you can stack that with your enhancement, make the enhancement extra worth it. Because if you're going to get 3 and then a possible D3 on top of that, you could bring some kind of large mechanical unit out of being bracketed.
Right. Or I could see it being a regen a wound a turn, and then you stack it with the enhancement.
Every vehicle regens a turn. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. Why not? And then I think vehicles getting an additional leadership, to be honest, stop them from constantly taking battle shock once they get halves, right? Help them a little bit with that. Not make them constantly failing because then they can't play the mission, they can't score.
Yeah.
It really would just hamper your entire mech WAAAGH. So maybe some kind of leadership buff onto your vehicles would be interesting. Them lucky blue gits, right?
Yeah, I like that one because it's kind of hard to recover if you are battle shock and you're trying to fight for an objective.
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of hard to get another unit on the other side of the board over there.
Yeah, I'd very much like to see the mech WAAAGH getting some kind of leadership buffs, as odd as that sounds. Once you play with it and you think about what happens to your mechs, what happens when they start having to take battle shocks throughout the whole game, you want to have a slightly better leadership when that starts happening. You're going to be taking damage probably, right? And of course, we didn't even put regen walker units. Excuse me. I want to be able to regen a walker unit. I'm not going to say any vehicle and all vehicle. Maybe that could be one too, right? I would love this regen rock grot tanks. But at the very least, for 2 CP, I want to regen a walker unit. I mean, I want to regen kilocans. I want to regen a single death tread. I think that's not too much to ask for 2 CP. Other factions get it on other vehicles. I mean, on other units. We limit it to 2-3 kind of walkers. Our Forge World walkers, death dreads. Of course, I think walkers would be considered Morkanauts and Gorkanauts. We could just say not for Titanic, something like that. That'd be freaking awesome.
Yeah, 2 CP. You're not going to see anyone spam this.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if maybe that's where the free strat could come into play. Then it could be spam. What's up? Woo! Woo!
Death Dread just sitting there, not really doing.
I would love this Death Dread just coming in, just sucking the whole time, but he keeps coming back. Yeah, that's what I want to see. All right, what is let's read the chats real quick before we move in.
I think we left off.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, that's right.
Sav Master, I'm hoping for a bonus to Walker units since I have a Dread Wall.
Exactly. That's why I wanted to put this on mech WAAAGH. I have a Dread Wall. I have too many Death Dreads. I have Morkanaut, Gorkanaut, Stampa, kill tanks. I got all types of shit stuff. So in general, I'm just excited and I want to use some kind of. I want us to be able to play our mechs without being like, oops, this guy has Melta Lances and could just one-shot our biggest 300-point unit. Oh, well. Like, you want some kind of durabilities to this, right? Even a 6 that feel no pain. You can pop that like Knights have. That could be interesting too, right?
Give them lethal hits, the walkers.
Sure. I mean, yeah. I mean,
be more reliable.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
All right. Someone actually ran.
This guy hits me. You know what? I think a lot of things screwed you if you took 18 death counters. Okay. Okay. Just what the Pale Orc. Yeah, you should have hit it. It's funny.
Pale Orc. I meant an overrun strat. You charge, you kill the unit, then you get to charge again.
Okay. Yeah, like the Nama Smash Squid used to have last edition. That'd be awesome. That's a good one too. That's a good one. I like that. Of course, -1 damage. That would be a great one too. Definitely one that we could definitely appreciate. If not, a straight up 6 that feel no pain. I don't know what would be too much to ask for Orks, but one or the other would be awesome for a mech WAAAGH. I definitely see that being something that we can end up getting in this. Why not, guys? As we've seen, GW is being thematic. I think it's okay to dream big. It's okay to kind of hope for some of these rules. We're not going to get all of them, but if we can get like 30% of these even, would be really fun for some of these walls that we want to run, not just stick to our current one we're running right now.
All right, WAAAGH is definitely dreaming big here. Art case for
all vehicles. Art case, that'd be +1 to wound right there. So
-1.
No, art case is +1 toughness, +2 to toughness when you art case.
Oh yeah, right.
So yeah, that'd be a good one too. I'm definitely and Mex and Walkers, he said, but I could see -1 damage, 6 of feel no pain, stuff like that. I'd really like to see those. Even an overrun for mech walkers, that'd be cool too, right? Walker runs and does tank shock, right? He does get in, does tank shock, then moves on again and charges again. That's something you can actually really have on this wall. Okay, let's see. Move on our slide to the next one with our green tide, the rise of the green tide. So of course, this is the infantry mass, infantry horde, orc boys in your face, all over the table, dying on hordes, using bodies as shields as they move up and get closer. So right off the bat, an enhancement would be, no, I don't want to see follow me, lads. I want an auto advance 6 unit. I want these guys to auto advance 6 when they move 6. Whenever they move, they're just auto advancing 6 on foot. I'd love to see an infantry unit just straight up do that. I like reliable movement. Movement buffs to it, like a +1 is nice, but I want to see infantry horde boys that are auto moving 6. Boom. That's
Yes.
that's how I feel. It's in there. Another thing is I've run the knob with wall banner. This might diminish his ability, so it might not be an enhancement. But if you can have knob with wall banner on top of another enhancement that gives an additional wall, right? Then you can have 3 walls in a game or something crazy like that. Technically, really what happens is the knob with wall banner does it for his 1 unit, then he could do it for his 1 unit. So really, the whole army still only gets it once, but you can have wall within a wall. You can have 2 units on the same turn, declare a second wall. That could be awesome to sustain momentum and to get earlier charges. I think so. In another wall enhancement on a different kind of character, like a war boss, would be awesome. Put it right. You have your Novel Wall Banner 1 unit, you have your war boss in another unit. He's giving them more hits. These guys are making them more strong. It becomes your missile, your Ard Boys unit. It becomes your Scar Boy unit. Thematically speaking, you guys know what I'm talking about. Or you can just have a lethals, right? And we know Gaz does his aura, but you're not going to always take Gaz. So you can just say, hey, one guy in this unit, these guys just always get lethal. You can put this on maybe a big mech, put him, he has the 4-up invuln to shooting, and then he also lets his unit get lethal hits, so they're not just floundering whenever they fight anybody. So just different kind of enhancements that I think would help with your mobs, right? And then for rule strats,
yeah, this is my favorite idea that you had. Regen infantry mobs / units. So bringing back like D3 Boyz.
Orks is never beaten. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I want, of course, just like every other detachment, every other faction of Horde, they get to regen stuff. I want to regen an entire unit of Ork Boyz. Boom.
Yeah.
Sure, if you have to GW because Orks are too awesome, because we the best. Okay, maybe just 1 unit in the game. Whatever. Either way, I just want them to have 1 full unit come back. It would be awesome. Or if it's 3 CP, whatever it has to be. But I want to see the rise of the GreenTide. Also, this is in combat patrol, moving after being shot. Yeah. I think berserkers have that. A lot of armies that have that. That'd be cool. And it would be great to just kind of make up that distance. You shoot this unit, move, boys, move. Yeah. Ooh, come on, boys, get out.
We're just gonna drown them in the GreenTide.
Yeah, I would love that. So moving after being shot, taking kind of damage would be an awesome one. A 6-up feel no pain / 6-up invuln. Either it's a strat to the unit just gets it as a whole, the whole army gets it, whatever it may be. Some kind of built-in passive durability buff would be cool. I think just we want to see what it is. Not going to tell you, but stacking that invuln on top of your wall invuln on top of a feel no pain just passively for your unit on everything. Then you can actually start stacking your other buffs. Would be nice because you're not going to have artist nails like this, right? So you're not it's probably still going to be in your or wall tribe. So that's just different. We need a different kind of durability that could still be fun and thematic. It would be weird for Beast Snagger Boys. We know that, so that's why I put / invuln because you don't know which way they'll go. They'll evaluate it. Additional +1 to move. I'd like that as a full army wide ability. Just all the boy mobs move just 1 inch faster. They're pumped up from the GreenTide. They're excited to get stuck in. I want to see that too. Right? And then David with the
ignore blast because you're gonna be running hordes of boys.
Yeah, and hordes and blasts really do bother your boys units. So you definitely want to just bother people's indirect, so it's not so efficient. Some of their people gun lines and their tanks, the different kind of units they're relying on blast for their horde output. Just ignore it. Don't let it be awesome. Forget horde modifiers and just make it straight D6 +1, whatever. Right. And that would be great to help our tide, of course. Running a GreenTide, you don't want them to have blast.
Then also +1 strength to infantry.
Yeah, I would like to see that come back more often. That used to be like the Goff's ability. I want all the infantry units just straight up +1 strength. I know I keep bringing that up, but I think Orks, we got our strength reduced when all throughout Ork lore and Warhammer 40K, Orks are the strongest. Like just straight up pure brute strength, we're the strongest faction. A Space Marine is not the equivalent of an Ork like War Boss or Knob when it comes to strength. An Ork Knob or War Boss can rip the ceramite plates off off a Space Marine while they're fighting if they've damaged their armor enough. With just knowing more strength, just rip the servo stuff off. They're just strong. So the fact that Orks are walking around with strength 9 as their knobs now, I don't appreciate that with power claws. I like them to be a straight base strength 10 and then 11 on the wall. I think it's okay to stack +2 strength when you're running a GreenTide. That's why I think it's totally fair to have your boys just straight up strength 5, your Beast Snagger strength 6, then if they move up to 7, 6. I think that'd be awesome. It'd be thematic, it'd be fun, and not OP. And then again, like we talked about with the battle wall, we need +1 leadership. I think +1 leadership across your wall would help you because you're going to have not that many units. You're still only going to have about 4 mobs, maybe. You don't want them to be taking battle shock, and people can get around you regenning the units by not killing them fully outright. So you don't want them to just be dead, half dead, and battle shocked and just sitting around all dumb, right? So having a little bit extra leadership, or you crump them, their war boss crumps their head, they auto pass morale, whatever it may be, some kind of morale buff, leadership buff would be great, I think. So anything you guys think, let me know, because I know a lot of people really like running the GreenTide. I love running a GreenTide. So yeah.
And I don't think any of these abilities are strong enough to ruin the game. We're just trying to think of abilities to make these lists viable.
Yeah, and not even at the most competitive level. These just be viable for us to all have fun and play. These are rules that we've seen or already been introduced from the Tyranids or the Space Marine or from other additions of the game. We have all of these kind of thoughts patterns brought up, and we can think that we can deduce that some of these will be brought back for viable reasons that we've seen already.
Yeah.
So let's see what these boys are saying.
Chat.
These boys are saying.
Should I hit these up?
Yeah, whatever.
All right, referring to the mech wall, he wants to see the teleporter.
The Taliban. Look at this dude. Thinks he's an assault moon. He thinks he's gonna start dropping stoppers from space. I see what you're doing there. All right, I know. Okay, the teleporter strat. That could be something too.
That'd be fun. And another one, stomp at 650 so we can run 3 and a mech, or 615 so we can
for
run
sure.
3
Why
and
not? That makes no sense. I'm all okay with it. Doesn't have to make sense. Just for no reason it goes down. Yes. The stomper could go down in points a bit more. Don't know about 3, but I think in general he's not too great. But with the mech wall abilities, he might be viable at that point. Let's go.
It's the new meta. John Smith likes the regenerative units.
Oh yeah, yeah. We need a regenerative unit. Whoa! Sorry. Wall energy letting Boyz rip apart a Titan sounds right. Right? They should get more strength. They should get lethals. Or get those beast snagger boys to just sitting at a base strength 6 and then 7. So then they can really just wound a bunch of different units on 5s instead of 6s. Your normal boys can start moving them on 5s instead of 6s. That would be totally make sense, and I would love to see that.
And actually, he's clarifying an entire unit from reserve.
Ooh, okay, that's fine. I'm down with that too. Let's go. Whoa. Let's go.
And Wappa Wap, GreenTide once per game, restoring all damaged units to full strength, or like guard, bring back lost units.
That'd be crazy. Once you call the wall, or it's a once per game ability. Okay, so that'd be different. That'd be really strong. So everybody just comes back, regens like. That's like a zombie thing. I don't know, but I mean that could still be cool.
Guard units are 10-mans.
Well, they have the Scout Sentinels. They can have 20-man units of boys. I mean, Scout infantry. I said boys, but you know what I mean.
We're all
crump
boys.
The gates, crump them beakies. Yeah, I know. I love that.
We know all those rules are fine in 10th because world leaders use those, so those are viable ideas and realistic.
There you go. That's a good one. I like that. And that's just for the GreenTide. So that we showed some other ones too.
Thoughts on blood?
Is that next?
What? Let's see. For my sneaky boys.
Funny you brought them up, Maximo. It's almost like you read our mind. You weird boy. And this is the Vanguard wall, or the sneaky gets for Mork. So David, start with that.
All right, for the enhancements, first off, redeploy 3 units at the start of the battle.
Yeah, we've had that before. I think bring that back as an enhancement would be great. You can pressure people by putting your units at the beginning, scout, infiltrating them. Of course, commandos are a bit pricey. You don't want to throw them away. You want to be able to bring them back if the enemy ends up being able to threaten them and that you don't end up going first. I would like to be the redeploy after you see who goes first as well. Right. Definitely matters a lot. Additional damage on the charge. You go, what? Why is that? Well, because of the other abilities in the detachment rule. I think it'd be awesome coming from deep strike or additional charge at all. It's almost like you're ambushing that guy. Therefore, your character could get a +1 damage. I think that'd be a fun, sneaky way to get different characters damage 3. That's all I'm saying. Yes. So I think that'd be a fun way, just different. Get a war boss that he gets +3, gets 3 damage because he jumps in, whatever it may be. Again, free strats. We're sneaky gets. We're cunning but brutal. We should get some kind of free strat, whether it be rapid ingress or anything like that. Tank shock, grenades. I can see a different kind of strats that become interesting because they're free strats for orcs and they're thematically themed for the blood axes. Yes. Also, a fight first. What makes more sense than a Vanguard blood axes getting fight first? We're getting the initiative. We're getting stuck in here. I see no reason why. Someone has to get fight first. One of these detachment does. I decided I'm throwing it in the blood axes. Why not? I think that makes total sense. No reason why we should be left out with not a fight first ability, right?
Yes. For detachment rules, an additional movement ability.
So this is where I was seeing a possible fire and fade because they're cunning, right? I of course I could see that in the speed walk because it's happened before, but I put it over here just because I thought of it more as a cunning than a speed walk capability. But it could be in either, to be honest. Battle shock.
Yeah, reducing leadership.
Making people take battle shock tests with certain units, making it a strat to reduce their leadership. Maybe everybody gains a reduced -1 ability from being close within a blood axe unit, whatever it may be. It would be very blood axey to start making people take battle shock tests, to be honest.
Yeah, what I'm liking so far about all these abilities, we're trying to make them impactful, like guerrilla tactics. It is going to shock your opponent, so the leadership should be reduced.
Yeah,
because you're surprising them, getting the initiative on them. And speaking of initiative, a +1 a charge, reroll charges when coming from deep strike.
Yes, I know some people have these abilities. Keep in mind, guys, some data sheet abilities might be changing by the Codex. That's why if they're ready, you're like, oh, Zach Struck already does that. Yeah, but he might do something else. So that being said, getting a +1 to charge or re-rolling charges or both makes total sense. Of course, if you're a Blood Axe unit, you can actually feel like you're going to get a somewhat reliable charge from Outflank or Deep Strike. No reason why you shouldn't get that. And then a reactive redeploy at the end of your opponent's movement, maybe pick up and end one of your units as a strat, right? There's Raveners can do that. There's certain different factions that already can do that. Reactively redeploy one unit from your army would be awesome as an ability, even if you limit it. Maybe it only has to be infantry. Maybe it can be mounted units as well. Whatever it is, you redeploy some kind of different, maybe your knobs, maybe some reason your mega knobs, whatever it does. There's cunning boys that get out of the way.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
cover when further than 12 or 18 inches away.
So that's not asking too much. We already see that with Space Marines, stuff like that. You need to have it so you're not getting alpha striked or people aren't long bomb shooting you away. You constantly always have cover. So I think that one makes a lot of sense. No reason why we shouldn't have that. But I'm a fan of blood axes. I think they should have really fun, interesting rules. So I'd like to see what you guys say in response as well. Let's go. Mork is the best. Orks always remember Gork, but they never remember Mork. And Mork is cunning and brawl.
I like this one. And he even named it Throat Slitters.
Okay.
+1 to wound if near terrain.
Yeah, that was the commando ability back in the day, but that'd be cool to bring him back as you're right. It would be cool to bring him back as like a strat or any kind of ability. That's awesome.
Misadventures of Mr. Gotti. I went in on blood aim.
He meant blood axes.
9th, I missed my fallback in charge.
Yeah,
so
they used to have that as an innate ability. So, yeah, when you could stay alive, right? It would be sometimes you just never survive that long. So that's why it's not like a for sure thing you can do. As an orc units aren't really necessarily always durable, but having a fallback in charge ability, stratagem, enhancement, that'd be awesome for sure. Because I know I love falling back in charge. I'm glad that we have it even in our current detachment now. So why not?
Make the blood axes feel like you're fencing rather than brawling.
Yeah, of course, because you're being cunning. Of course, if you listen to certain books, Catachan Devils, of course, this is exactly what orcs they really much express in that book, that orcs are definitely have the potential to be cunning. And currently orcs lack that because they're always thinking about getting stuck in and being brutal. But the sides of Gork and Mork are both, guys. And it's up to you and us to bring back the pride of Mork. Whoa! You like how I built that up?
All right, a strat to go through terrain like Chaos Knights.
Okay, that's a cool one.
Like one.
Get a Death Dread that can just Capri Sun Man through the wall, or you just why not? That'd be a great one. Yeah, Capri Sun Man, because I don't think that's his name. That's not. Isn't it Kool-Aid? I said Capri Sun. Whatever. You guys don't even know what Capri Sun is, possibly. All
right. Made it in time for the stream. Just got in the last 6 of 18 copters.
Look at you. Whoa! Then you better be using one of these detachments or hope that you do, right? One of these abilities. That would be awesome.
All right, couple. This channel is gold.
Ooh.
Thank you.
That's very nice of you to say. Whoa! All right, sorry. I'm wanting too loud. That was a loud one. Usually I move away a little bit, Headband.
Wappa wop.
Go.
Oh.
Mork, right? Dude, come on. Everybody remembers Gork. Everybody thinks about orcs as super brutal and dumb, and you're right. But we're also cunning, so let's keep it going.
One last
Last chat.
When you don't know what to buy next, just go more def choppas.
More
Get
def
all
choppas.
the choppas.
Get all the def choppas.
Def coptas.
Do you mean choppas or choppas? Or you mean both? Are you confused? No, I'm just kidding. No,
he wants a new data sheet.
He wants both. Yeah,
a multi-kit.
Why have only one when you can have both? Let's see what the next attachment is today. And we have the Dakka WAAAGH. So this is just getting stuck in, shooting it up. This is, well, not necessarily getting stuck in. This is getting stuck in place. It's shooting it up. So this is just laying down the Dakka. This is intended for if you want to get shooty, let's get some ideas. I'd love to hear what you guys got to say. I know there's going to be a lot of ones on this of ideas. Everybody wants to shoot different ways, so let's hear it. But let's start off. Enhancements. We need an ignore hits or wound modifier or both, preferably both. A lot of armies going to get -1 to hit, maybe -1 to wound if you're in a mirror matchup, stuff like that. I need to be able to ignore that with at least one of my shooty bricks, if it's not too much to ask for, as it's just a straight up strat, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's too much to ask for. It's not like you're hitting on 3s or 2s or anything ridiculous.
Yeah. So. Of course, you also need your sustained 5s.
Yeah,
I think that would be great, right? Instead of just sustained 6s, I think that should be an army-wide ability, to be honest.
More Dakka.
But I think you need one unit with sustained 5s as their ability. You know, it could be a Big Mac with shock attack gun. Man, make him and maybe some Ludas just for fun. They can actually become almost viable there. What's up? You know, anything like that. Just get them. Of course, if we could get a different kind of unit like leader with flash kits other than just Captain Badrock, this becomes more interesting and makes them even more powerful. And of course, not that people are going to do it, but if you ever have it on your normal boys with guns with shooters, if they get other abilities, as we're going to show further, maybe 20-man units of boys might become interesting, right?
Be nice on some mech guns as well.
Mech guns, you shoot shock attack gun, mech gun. He gives it to them too. Exactly. Then, of course, I think we need lethal hits. I don't think that's too much to ask for. But lethal hits for just shooting in one of your characters' abilities, or you can tell a unit to give it. Maybe a mech points at one of the units, tells it you get lethal hits now. That could be interesting as well. And I don't know. We had fight on death on accident, I think. Yeah. So ignore that one. That's all right. That one shouldn't be in there, but why not? We can always find death. Shoot on death. How about that? All right. Shoot on death. There you go. As an army-wide ability, I think sustained 6s need to come back for bad wounds. Let's go. I think you just need to increase our firepower, not give them +1 to hit because things can get out of hand real quickly. But +6s to hit mathematically makes us just enough better at shooting that it becomes more fun. And it just feels good. It doesn't make anybody feel bad with too much Dakka. Plus, some of our weapons are good strength, good damage. We just need more shots. So sustained 6s would help. All range weapons gain assault. I think that would be great. So you can constantly keep moving, try to get stuck in with the same units that want to fight, not limit your own movement, but still gain assault on everything across the board. I know that sounds crazy. I don't care. I want assault on everything. I think orc guns in general should just be assault. I would love to see it. It would feel great.
Well, it's not only a buff for offense, but for playing the mission.
Yeah, that's why I would love to see it.
Or no, rerolls 1s to hit or wound.
Yeah, I think this would be a fun strat. I do. You put it on a unit, tell it to reroll 1s to hit and wound, whatever it may be. Sometimes you maybe just want the 1s to reroll to wound. Doesn't matter. I think that'd be a fun, just 1 CP strat that it could be. And then ignoring cover, I can see that being just a straight up detachment rule. I think just having a straight up detachment rule of ignoring cover would be great.
Yeah, cover is way too easy to get in this edition.
Exactly.
So that'd be very beneficial.
And I don't want to see a bunch of organs with a bunch of crazy AP either. Some AP increases would be cool, right? And other detachments, maybe in this one, you can get some also AP enhancements. But that being said, we don't need a bunch of -3, -4 guns being brought back into the game as a whole. But getting some rerolls or some ignoring cover would help with just making stuff more reliable. And then, of course, I think we could have our own version of Crossfire. Crossfire is currently like a GSC type ability, or it was, where if multiple units gain line of sight and shoot the same unit, that everybody gets more buffs to it. I think that'd be a really fun thing to overwhelm a strong enemy unit by just every orc unit getting +1 to hit by shooting at it. Right? Orcs, like you said, we lack our volume. We're not really that reliable too much, but if you can pick one unit and everybody kind of gets to it and shoots at it, maybe it's also a strat or an ability. That could be very interesting to make our shooting become almost reliable to you can at least be like, oh, I'm gonna really hurt or kill this one unit by shooting at it, without making everything +1 to hit, or without having to trigger it by killing the unit first. I think that becomes too much. Make it a crossfire ability.
Yeah, I think that's fair because you're having to set up multiple units to even see this enemy, so you're putting yourself in position to possibly get hit back.
And if it's a big like a knight or anything Sherpa durable, anyways, orc volume and guns probably aren't gonna have enough damage or reliability to kill it anyways outright, even if it's +1 to hit.
Right.
So
then one more that we glossed over: additional AP on critical hits.
Yeah, I think that's how I said we could get extra cover without being OP with too much. I mean, additional AP without being overindulgent on it. But you stack that with -1 to hit, +1 to hit on target 1 unit, sustained 6s. All of a sudden, our low volume, in my opinion, low volume of shots with not super reliable or any AP at all. Increase that all, blah 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 here and there. You can chip people down or actually straight up kill units that you're shooting at. Or just trigger people to pop armor of contempt and stuff. A lot of stuff gets cover. A lot of stuff has armor of contempt. I don't think these are any kind of extensive reaches. It makes us feel better with our shooting without being it so reliable to the point that we just mathematically overwhelm people with dice and reliable buffs. This becomes like, oh, I have to get these certain hits, but not too many rerolls either. That's why I put rerolls once to hit and wound, not just a full rerolls hit. I think that'd be too much. So yeah. Those were just, and when we just popped right through them, guys, those were the 5 detachments we think they're going to be. And of course, the 6th one is the one we have right now, the Orc Tribe, which is what used to be Goths. I think that's going to stay pretty much the same as we've seen with everything. One stays the same, that one stays the same. So that's what we're going to think. So what does the chat say as to if you guys want us to revisit any of these detachments, go ahead and show us too.
Bug Squasher +2 strength.
Yeah, I don't know what unit you meant that for, but as a whole, like we talked about, I think armies can get like either the speed WAAAGH or this GreenTide. Those factions can get +1 strength, and you max out with your WAAAGH, and you get another +1 strength. That's +2 strength. I think that'd be important, and I think that'd be very helpful as Orks. We need the strength.
All right. Hashtag free Buddhas.
Free Buddhas. We combined free Buddhas. We could have put both right there. Free Buddhas and Bad Moons, because they're both known for kind of like shooting. Free Buddhas are actually known as mercenaries. So it's not really that they just shoot. It's just that flash kits are typically the ones that are there. Right. That's why I don't think they're going to have their own detachment ability.
We're seeing GW consolidate detachments to fit specific play styles.
So I think
they're both shooting.
So they're both kind of shooting. Yeah. Dakka WAAAGH is the Bad Moons and Free Buddhas. But yeah, that's a good call out.
How about an ability to give enhancement to one vehicle?
Oh, that'd be fun, right? Make one of your vehicles sustain 5s. I like you're cooking with
creative thinking outside the box.
Cooking with gas? Is that what we say? How does that thing go? I don't know, but that's a good thought. That's a good thought.
Oh, I'm sorry. A unit is bomb squigs. Let them squigs.
What? That'd be so funny, right? That'd be awesome if you could just have like pay for like I don't know. It has to be a good amount of points at least, like 50 points for like 3 bomb squigs or something crazy.
Right.
I don't know what you would do per point it's point per mortal wound, but that'd be sick if you could just have. I feel like we need units of swarmed squigs to be honest. So I like that one. That's for fun.
I missed the more Dakka plus tank buses strat.
I know you do. I knew it. Some of those I think might be too strong. Like I don't think they'll give us +1 to wound. I think they don't like to see that in the game too much. But more Dakka, that's what sustained 5s is. I think it'll be an enhancement because they don't want it on every unit, every ability. So I can see them making it 1. Or maybe I'm wrong and they make it just a straight up ability. Whatever.
It might lead to the return of buggies unless there's a non-vehicle check.
Yeah, exactly. I think buggies do need to make some kind of return, though. Not as a whole, not as bad as they were. But if you mix any of these, I don't think any of these pushed them over the top to being broken. Right. I think because you still aren't really fighting that reliably, you're not really that durable either, which is why in the speed wall is a mixture of offensive capability and shooting movement shenanigans, but you're not that much better at shooting.
Right.
That's why we try to split her at those abilities. That way you can run in either one, but neither is going to make him oversaturated with very reliable outcomes.
Unrelated, but a cool idea for future videos would be, in my opinion, something focused on deployment. Ooh,
yeah, we can do stuff like that. We're going to be working on the combat reports here soon. So once we get better at kind of camera, pictures, editing, formatting, getting them done in a reasonable amount of time as we improve, we can get more of those videos out. Since we do 2 live streams every week on on top of the videos, it becomes like, okay, we're gonna shoot this on the weekend, and we have to order it, then we have to edit it, stuff like that. So it's not that we can do it for every little one, but each one we should do something, a tactic for each either phase or each part of the game that we think is important. So that is a good one.
Also, I was wondering, do you guys always put Storm Boys in reserves, or how do you play them usually?
No, I do a lot of the time, you would say, but no, there's sometimes we'll actually keep them on the board and use them to run into behind, like just run behind a piece of terrain, prepare to do a secondary, get an objective sooner since they can actually move through terrain and still fly, have good mobility. Sometimes the bikers just can't get there. Sometimes the truck just can't get there. As a whole, they're just useful for secondaries. I don't really typically charge anything with them. That's how I don't use them as charging. I have heard people use them for charging. You put a Zach truck in there, bring a 10-man unit down, use them as like a missile, because then you can put here we go, so that they get their ability to move and advance better. I mean, charge better, advance, move, charge better, everything as a whole. So you can use them as like a dynamic missile, but as a whole, you're using them for secondaries. I like to bring 2 units of them. One of them goes into deep strike, sometimes both, depending on the matchup. Sometimes I keep one on the table. So either way, it's really matchup dependent on what you're trying to do, what kind of secondaries you're trying to do as well. But that's a good question. And Storm Boys are always good.
Yeah.
Bikers are good too.
And we are caught up.
And we're caught up. So yeah, guys, that was our presentation, conversation, thoughts about what to do with these different detachments. These are just guests. This is just theory crafting. This is just fun. We'll do a quick shot through them. We started with the speed WAAAGH, the evil Sunz, we can get +2 movement, advanced charge. I like to see burners get an upgrade. I like to see us get offensive capabilities for fighting with these speed units. That'd be very fun. Smoke screen, some kind of movement shenanigans, double movements would be awesome. Anything like that. A mech WAAAGH, I've heard some good presentations in here as well. People said giving them an enhancement would be awesome. One vehicle, giving someone an invuln, being able to repair, bring back walker units. I think all of those would be really, really fun. Really thematic to have those like not dying, durable kind of mechanized units. We have the GreenTide. I want them to have better, reliable movement, even though they're not the speed WAAAGH. You're still limiting it to infantry, but they need to be able to move in a more reliable manner so you can get into combat, get stuck in. You're not just getting roasted across the table for 3 turns before you even get there and get torn apart. That'd be boring.
3 turns of possible wall would be
3
nice.
turns or 3 at least units. Yeah,
units,
you're right.
yeah.
You're right. 3 turns possible WAAAGH, but at least, yeah, you can split your WAAAGH to 2 different kinds of WAAAGH, right? You have your main WAAAGH with your whole army, and then you have 2 different units that could do it to retain momentum or early pressure. A Vanguard WAAAGH, right? Some kind of blood axes, redeployment, picking up your movements, putting them back on the table would be awesome. Outflanking, more reliable charges, battle shocks, stuff like that. A fight first.
Yeah.
That's all stuff Orks lack that I'd love to see us get, just like other people get, and you limit it to this detachment, maybe certain keywords, so it's not OP. The Dakka WAAAGH, and of course, having just the guns, being able to bring all the Dakka. We want to see abilities that help us shoot better, become more reliable, but not making us broken till we become a fighting army. Enough to where it hurts and we can chip people down, but we don't take debuffs to our fighting, so then our fighting can follow up, right? So it can be, Crumpin by Dakka by association, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. That's what we really want to see too. So there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, and I think any of these should be playable and fun because GW's been doing a great job on that, right? Great job on making their rules.
Yeah, honestly, this was pretty fun to come up with. I really like the blood axe one. That'd be, if there was one to be the most realistic, the blood axe one to me seems the funnest.
That's awesome. Yeah. Blood Axe one seems good to me. I think GreenTide might be pretty spot on, hopefully. At least maybe I'm just being too hopeful. A mech WAAAGH I really look forward to be honest. I really want to start using my mechs, but I think right now they're just too easily torn down by other anti-tank units. And they're a bit overpriced to bring enough of them to spam. So yeah, I would like to see them get some kind of buffs, to be honest. So what do you think about putting Maz in reserves and wrapping Grist on him? I've never seen a reason why you would ever want that. Maz is intended to tank enemy damage, force them to kind of commit into him and try to kill him. He will tank a bunch. He's not really a reliable offensive powerhouse. He can do damage offensively. Some units he really does good into. But as a whole, he's about forcing enemies into commitment, forcing enemies into bad trades, applying pressure. So putting him in reserves is not where I want to be with that, to be honest. But he's good for countercharging. So even if you don't ingress him, you want to put him somewhere that if you're baiting something else, like bikers, trucks, whatever it is, he can still come in. If he's countercharging something, getting his charge off first, he becomes much more reliable offensively. But I would not reserve him, to be honest. Love the show. Take care of your throats with those. I'm built for that, boy. Oh, fight first rat call. Surprise. Yeah, I like that. Exactly. We need some kind of fight first, though. Yeah. We do. That's what I want to see. Fight first. Where is that? Someone needs it. Fight first. It could be a strat, the data sheet ability, whatever it may be. We need a fight first.
Yeah, Orks without a fight first just doesn't feel right.
It doesn't feel right. And I like that we can fight in death, but that might be just the wall tribe, you know? Right. So we might not have that in everyone. That means we need to fight in death. Otherwise, we become very susceptible to fight first armies if we don't have our own fight first or a built-in fight in death either. But yeah, guys, those were our ideas. Hopefully you liked our thoughts, our theory crafting. This is supposed to be just a fun conversation, just to open the door. You can comment, leave more conversations, more thoughts in the Discord. Consider this conversation. Maybe there's something we missed, something that you think is better as well. And of course, guys, more ideas for kind of videos you guys want would be great. Like I said, they don't have to always be just a meta talk. That's not what we're here for. We're going to do a Legends video at some point too. Yes. We're going to do Orc top most used units in this part of the edition post data slate. We're going to come up with another tier list video probably in 2 weeks from now or less. So that should be really fun. So get your tier list ideas in, start talking to me, banter to me, start making your arguments for why you think other things should be better tier than others. I'd love to argue with you for fun, of course. But yeah, that's the whole point of this, right? Just have good talks, good fun. It's not always about what's the most meta. It's about what get stuck in, lads. Right? So that's what I really want to see. All right, anything you want to say, David? No?
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, we're going to start doing these combat patrols just to kind of get in the groove of recording bat reps, editing them down, releasing them, and just trying to get into that zone as well.
Yep.
Trying to provide a lot of different content for you guys.
All Orc related though. That's all I want to see.
Yes.
Lots of fun. Thanks for hosting this. And thanks for participating. Anybody that's here, that's talking, throwing your ideas out. There's no wrong ideas. It's only all of the WAAAGH is the conglomeration of orcs, clans, and all of our ideas. Thank you. I'm still going to kick my brother Chaos Demon's booty. Yes. If you have beast snagger units, stuff like that, don't forget, throw grenades at demons. That's always fun and catches them off guard. A lot of different orc units have the grenade keyword. If you're not just spamming beast snagger units, you might need that little bit extra damage too. But yeah, if you have enough beast snaggers and stuff, add Wappa's kill chopper, he can handle demons. Yeah. Oh, sorry, you go. No, you go.
I thought you were getting... Yeah, that's guys. Just love the orcs talk.
It's about the boys. I'm getting stuck in. Yes, all orc related. That's what we're talking about, and that's what we're here for, guys. Remember, that's the community we're building, and we're here. We're glad that you're here to support it. So, is that we're closing out, guys?
I think so. Yeah.
But remember,
thank you for everyone that contributed to the chat. It was fun. It's always fun talking to you guys. And like Eddie said, if you have any ideas, stuff you want to see, we can put it on our list of things to do. And yeah, we're here for you guys.
But there's one thing to keep in mind. Don't cross a wall, because we knock your teeth out. Whoa! Whoa!